我要祝大家新年快乐，万事如意。I wish fellow Singaporeans a very happy New Year. The song "Count on Singapore" brings back memories of the Singapore that we love.
Yes, sir!
It must be about 15 years or so, and Singapore, we were very much united. Alright? Now, when the population white paper was first announced, we saw the headline 6.9 billion people. Many people were shocked. Were you?
Yes!
Well, I was shocked also.
Very shocked.
Now, why? With 5.3 million people, Singapore is already too crowded. Every day, we travel in packed trains and packed buses and congested roads. Is that right?
Yes!
We have long queues in hospitals, in schools, in shopping malls, and just to get an HDB flat. If the quality of life is bad with 5.3 million people, will it get worse when it's 6.9? Now the government heard the uproar and came in with damage control. So they say, don't worry, it's the worst case scenario. And then they amend the motion in Parliament to say, oh, it's just a roadmap. Not a projection, not a target, just a roadmap for planning. Now we all know, if the infrastructure is built for 6.9 million, will the government leave it empty?
No!
Now, while we object to 6.9 million, it is also our duty as citizens to understand the key challenges facing our country. I want to deal with two important challenges raised in the white paper. The white paper said we need a bigger economy and a bigger population to provide good jobs for Singaporeans.
What is a good job?
Now, 65% want to have PMET jobs: professional, managerial, executive and technical jobs. Therefore, the white paper says we need to import foreign workers to do the work that Singaporeans don't want. The manual, the service, the manufacturing jobs. Now, these are partly true, but this can be changed, and we want to change this. But we must know that this is one of the challenges. Now,
because we can't survive with a salary.
that's right. Now, when the foreigners come in, they are not only taking away the low-level jobs, even our PMETs will lose their job. And we have got PMETs unemployed, and they become what? Taxi drivers. So this strategy of depending on foreign workers coming in is not the correct strategy. Now, our problem is our economic structure is now in a mess. We have too many people working in property, banks, working in insurance, money lending. Have you seen the pawn shops in our HDB estates? Alright? And even speculating in shares in COE. Even COE can speculate. Now all these jobs, of course, pay good salaries. So we have too many people in these jobs and too few people want to be engineers, nurses, policemen and teachers. So this is our problem, our economy. We are putting people in the wrong places. Now, even in our offices, we have a lot of people doing work that are not necessary, quite wasteful. Paperwork, paying by checks. Nowadays, most countries make payment not by checks but electronically. But in our offices, they are handling paperwork that are very inefficient, takes a lot of people. So we do need to find ways to improve our productivity. So our task is therefore, we need to restructure the economy and make sure our human resources are distributed evenly to all sectors of the economy. We have to reduce the cost of doing business and reduce the wastage. But more important, we must give adequate wages, dignity, and fair employment terms to all sectors of our workforce, to the service workers, to the manual workers. We must give adequate wages so that Singaporeans can do this work and they can survive. And the wages must be enough for them to raise a family, to pay for their HDB flat, and even to save for the future. Now, my father came from China. He's also an ordinary worker. Our parents are all ordinary workers, most of them. And they can earn enough to raise a family. There's nothing wrong with manual work or service work. Therefore, we must make sure that can raise 10 children somehow. So this is very important, that we should restructure our wages, our economy, so that Singaporeans can fill up all these jobs and we don't need to depend too much on foreigners. Now the white paper also talk about an aging population, and they say this is going to be a problem because too few young people to support the older people. By 2030 they say 2.1 support an older person. By that time I'm already the older person. Actually, I'm the older person now. Now, this is a fallacy, something that is a false assumption. My children don't support me because I have, not only me, for many people in my generation, we were lucky because we grew up at a time when our assets have appreciated. So many people in the older generation, financially they are okay, generally. In fact, we are therefore not depending upon our children. It's the other way round. Our children need us to pay for their HDB down payment. So therefore, the white paper assumption that elderly people are a liability, need to be supported, is largely not true. The reality is the younger people are finding it very hard to even buy the HDB flat. Now, we do recognize that there are still a segment of the elderly people that are poor. And this is because over these years, the income, the wealth distribution is not fair. Some people are okay, but some people cannot survive. Taking care of these poor older people, you cannot rely upon their children. Their children already find it hard to cope. This has to be the role of the government.
Yes.
And the government must change the mindset about welfare. If they continue to be just so stingy, then we are going to be very wasteful. All this little bit here and there, what they call it, many helping hands, together not enough. It's very wasteful. So we do need to have a new way to look at welfare. Now our key challenge is still our birth rate. This is something we must recognize. Of course, the government recognized this.
But who made the mistake?
No, the government recognized this 30 years ago. But the strategy they use have failed for 30 years. First, they have graduate mother. I objected to this. And all along I said this is a very bad policy. You know, some of you know I was in Marine Parade helping Go Chok Tong. I have a big quarrel with him. I said this is a very bad policy. Later on, you got baby bonus 1, 2001, baby bonus 2, baby bonus 3, and now baby bonus 4. All these years, the birth rate keeps on coming down. Same policy, you just change here and there. Little bit of what they call tweaking. You don't change the fundamental, so it doesn't work. Now to solve our problem of birth rate, and it's very important, we must look at the roots of the problem. Why is it that young people don't want to get married and don't want to have children? Some people say it is their lifestyle choice, but that applies to only a small number. The majority, it is, can they afford? Now the problem is our young people. First of all, the job is not secure. Can I get a job?
No.
Can I keep a job?
No.
The second is, does the job pay adequate enough for me? If the job don't pay enough for me, how can I survive? How can I cope? I do need to get married. You need to have a house to stay. Can I afford a house? Can I even afford to meet my own cost of living? So all these are the very fundamental problem. Even if they earn high salary, and a few people do high earn salary, do they have the time? Because they have to work very long hours. Is that right? No. Do they have to work long hours? Is that good? Okay, answer correctly, alright? Now, if we recognize this problem, and we recognize that the old way doesn't work, the baby bonus doesn't work, we need to find new solution, and they have to be different. Cannot be the same old methods that have failed. Alright, now there's not enough time to discuss this, but I want to say that the birth rate is still very important. The old policies have failed. We must have new policies that will take a new look and find new solutions. And that, I hope, will be the message that can come out from 3,000 people here today. Do you want Singapore to have the ability to have more children born in Singapore? Yes! Do you want to have policies changed so that you can earn more and be able to afford to raise a family? Yes! So the key message is we must tackle the roots of the problem. We must encourage young people to start a family and to have children. Only then can we have a sustainable population for a dynamic Singapore. And we must say no to 6.9 million.